Okay, so it's an amazing Saturday morning, and I've just come back for a walk. Been quite a big start that way as usual, so wake up at 4 a.m. But I feel like there's definitely some good stuff that I've done. So, right from waking up at 4, maybe designing, say, showcasing our agency portfolio that we need to send out to clients, and all the good stuff. But the main thing that I wanted to talk about in this video is something called as energy management. And I think this portfolio design thing that I managed to finish today would be a very good fit for what I'd like to talk about in the video. So let's go. So yeah, I think basically if you've ever faced a situation where you're super tired when you're working through the day, be it like a 9 to 5, be it your own business, I think even I've definitely been there, and I think it's normal to say the least for most people. But what's different is just the way we start looking at things, because in most cases we're always wanting to be productive, we want to get more done, but I think we also have to take into consideration something called as energy management, which in very simple terms is being aware of how and when you're able to perform at your best, and when, for example, you're maybe facing the least in terms of distractions. So when you're really able to focus well without maybe messages coming in, without calls coming in, be it your clients, be it your closest ones, be it family, whatever it is that you feel might be affecting your work, or what is it that you do in the day. And I think just identifying what these things are and when they usually come up in the day and at what time, I think those things will really help you understand and isolate those times when you can actually start working better, which is something called as deep work that you might have heard of. So just want to go by in a simple step-by-step process where you can understand how you can actually go about planning a day, or going about a day in a better way, and managing your time and the work you do in a better way. So starting off with number one, I think, is to really just understand how your day is going right now. So to analyze the patterns that are happening. So for example, the way that I'm currently doing it, I'm still in the process of understanding and building a routine, but I think the best way would be to use a digital calendar, because it's just on the phone, it's convenient, it's accessible everywhere. There are many apps that you can use, but the idea is to just start tracking your day. So I do it in 15 minutes, but you could choose an increment of your time, preferably half an hour or so, because you'll easily understand. It'll be less of a task as such to remember. You need to keep tracking time, but it's also easier to keep feeding in things that you're doing. And the idea is, once you've done this, you're building a pattern and just creating awareness, being more mindful about how your time is going. And then as we move on to step 2, I want you to start reviewing your calendar and seeing the work that you're doing. So once you review that, I want you to review it with a mindset that maybe, for example, between 2 to 4, I was doing these things. But if you go back to that, I think that you should be able to trace back to the day and just maybe visualize a bit of in terms of how you're doing that, and whether you're facing any distractions or if it took a lot of time to get done. And going back to the example that I had this morning, so again, I woke up the regular 4 o'clock mark, but this thing that I was able to do, which is designing an entire portfolio for us to send out to clients for their social media thing, I think that's definitely an example, because I've been delaying it for quite some time, knowing that I need to do it, but it's not something that's urgent. But because I had to send it off today or within the coming week to someone, I knew that this is when I would have to do it. I just had to sort of sit there, focus on the one granular thing, and be able to do it. So I think the second step would definitely be to identify patterns in your calendar and then correlate them with the distractions you might have been facing and just how you mentally felt. And this will basically create awareness in terms of your personalized energy levels and the type of work that you like to get done, which is the main building block of the whole energy management concept. And finally, when we move on to step 3, that's where you would then use this awareness pattern that you have of your energy levels. So it could be 4 to 6, 7 in the morning on creative work, and 7 to maybe 3 p.m. for teamwork, and you prefer having calls after 3 because the energy is quite low. So all of those things would be able to figure out their places on the calendar or in your life in general once you have an awareness in step 2 about your energy levels. So I think definitely this is something I feel people should start trying on, because it'll really change the way, I think the way we all go about a day and just the way we manage everything, because it'll also help you start showing up for maybe meetings or the work that you do in a much better way, rather than just maybe showing up and just getting the work done. Because I think both of them are equally important, but at the same time, depending on the type of work you're doing, you might have to be super creative, you might have to just get the work done and send it across. So I think these things would really play a role in terms of figuring out the nature of the task, what is the objective, and accordingly, you can just sort of put it in your calendar. So I think that was the main objective, to just communicate this concept or this thing of energy management that I've been learning from a lot of people online, and just seeing if it really helps. So if you found it useful, please, it would be in the world if you could leave a comment. So I would love to understand your current day planning and the way you go about it as well. And also if you could maybe hit the like button and subscribe as well, it would really mean a lot. So thank you.